What happens when a simple phone call becomes the weapon to dismantle a nation's most contested political legacy? What happens when a country's leader is stripped of power, not by ballots, but by the courts and the whispers of the military? How does a phone call turn into a political earthquake? And what does that say about the trust in institutions meant to protect people? Thailand's Supreme Court, in a unanimous 9-0 vote on July 1st, suspended Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra, daughter of the twice ousted Thaksin, after 36 senators accused her of dishonesty and undermining national dignity through a leaked call with former Cambodian strongman Hun Sen. On June 15, 2025, Thailand's Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra made a private call to Cambodia's former leader, Hun Sen, intended to calm a border crisis that erupted after a Cambodian soldier was killed on May 28th. In that conversation, she referred to Hun Sen as uncle, pledged to take care of his concerns, and sharply criticized Thai Army Commander Lieutenant General Bunsin Padklang as being just looking to be cool, calling him part of an opposition side within Thailand. That remark shattered a sacred boundary in Thai politics: public criticism of the military, especially by a sitting civilian leader. When Hun Sen himself leaked the recording on his official Facebook page on June 18th, the damage was immediate and explosive. His release sparked outrage from nationalist groups and the deeply entrenched military establishment. On June 28th, an estimated 20,000 protesters, many loyal to the Yellow Shirt movement, rallied in Bangkok's Victory Monument, chanting "Ung Ing, get out," accusing the Prime Minister of betraying national honor and pandering to foreign interests. Their anger wasn't just about a diplomatic misstep. It tapped into decades of resentment toward the Shinawatra dynasty. Her father Thaksin ousted in 2006, her aunt Yingluck deposed in 2014, each time through judicial, not electoral, interventions. This was history repeating itself yet again, as if democracy in Thailand must always come with an asterisk. The political ripple effects were swift and devastating. On June 18th, the Bumjithai party withdrew from Paetongtarn's fragile coalition, denying her the razor-thin majority needed to govern. Just days later, on July 1st, Thailand's Constitutional Court, in a 7-2 verdict, suspended her based on a petition from 36 senators accusing her of dishonesty and abuse of power. This forced her into a caretaker role as culture minister and placed Deputy Prime Minister Surya Juangrung Ruangkit in charge of day-to-day governance. At a hurried press moment, she defended herself, saying, "My only intention was to maintain sovereignty and save soldiers' lives." But her words were drowned in the uproar. What followed wasn't unfamiliar. Thailand watched old patterns repeat, the judiciary and establishment stepping in just as public dissent grew. This suspension marked the third time in 2 decades that a Shinawatra had been removed through non-electoral means. And again, the markets faltered. Within days, the stock exchange of Thailand fell over 4%, signaling investor fear about fragile governance and the possibility of more instability. With her popularity sinking to around 9% by June's end, Paetongtarn found herself seemingly powerless, her political future tied to court timelines and elite maneuvering. For many, this isn't just about one leader being silenced, it's about who truly controls Thai democracy and how easily that power can pivot based on internal alliances rather than public will or elections. Phuket post-analysis called it an anachronistic power struggle between elected office and unelected influence. Across ASEAN, democracies quake when courts dismiss civilian leaders as if sealing a coup, not by tanks but by verdicts. When the judiciary becomes the gatekeeper of executive legitimacy, citizens start to wonder if their votes were ever meant to matter in the first place. The outrage among youth and pro-democracy circles is building. Thailand's young people, many of whom supported Paetongtarn for her pledges on education reform and decentralization, are now asking, if the military judiciary axis can suspend PMs twice in 5 years, is Thailand ever truly free to choose? Their frustration isn't just rooted in this latest suspension, but in the persistent sense that real change is impossible in a country where the shadows of generals loom large over ballot boxes. This isn't the first time Thailand has walked this path. Since the end of absolute monarchy in 1932, Thailand has experienced at least 13 successful coups and more than 20 attempts, making it one of the most coup-prone nations in modern history. The military, often in alliance with royalist elites and the judiciary, has repeatedly stepped in to remove elected leaders under the pretext of safeguarding national unity or protecting the monarchy. In 2006, Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra was ousted while attending the United Nations General Assembly. In 2014, it was Yingluck Shinawatra who was removed under similar circumstances, followed by a full military takeover led by General Prayuth Chan-o-cha. These interventions are rarely about immediate security threats. More often, they're about preserving elite control when electoral results don't align with the interests of Thailand's traditional power structures. Thailand's monarchy, though constitutional on paper, also casts a long shadow over democratic institutions. Criticism of the royal family is criminalized under strict lèse-majesté laws, and public figures, even elected officials, tread carefully when addressing issues that intersect with royal influence. In this environment, any effort to reform the military or challenge the establishment risks being framed as anti-monarchy or anti-national, leaving little room for meaningful democratic evolution. What does justice mean in a democracy where courts and generals can reverse electoral verdicts? What confidence can citizens have when prime ministers rise and fall not at ballot boxes, but within ballots of elites? When institutions built to protect democracy are the very tools used to throttle it, the social contract begins to tear. And most urgently, will Thailand find a way to genuinely circumscribe military power? Or are we trapped in a cycle destined to repeat?